The days passed. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, day 3, nothing. Day 4, nothing. Day 5, still nothing. Unlike the previous year, I didn't remind them. I had made myself a promise. I would not beg. On the evening of day 6, I came into the kitchen. An envelope lay on the table. My name was written across the front. Kemisola. I picked it up, opened it, counted the money. Every naira, the exact acceptance fee. No note, no apology, no explanation. Just money. I stood there quietly. Part of me wanted to be grateful. Another part remembered last year. Remembered the admission I had lost. Remembered the word I forgot. So I simply nodded to myself, picked up the envelope, and quickly went to the bank and paid the acceptance fee. Only after the payment receipt arrived did I finally allow myself to smile. This admission wasn't going anywhere. The week before resumption looked very different for Bola and me. Ronke took Bola shopping. New clothes, new shoes, a new phone, new luggage. Campus life is expensive, she said.
If you need anything else,
my father handed Bola spending money.
Bola, come and take. Call me whenever
I watched quietly,
Thank you, Daddy.
then packed my own things, one traveling bag, my clothes, my notebooks, my baking notebook, and the small electric oven I had saved for months to buy with my cake business. Everything I owned fit into one bag and one carton. The money I left, nobody stood outside to wave goodbye. Nobody hugged me. Nobody prayed for me. Nobody said, "We are proud of you." I carried my bag to the gate myself. My uncle, my late mother's younger brother, called just as I was about to board the bus.
Have you left? I'm about to.
I'm proud of you, Kemisola.
Thank you, Uncle.
You will do great things. I believe in you.
I won't disappoint you.
You never have.
After the call ended, I boarded the bus. As the vehicle pulled away from Ibadan, I looked through the window one last time at the road ahead, because for the first time in my life, my future was finally in front of me, not behind me. Several hours later, the bus entered Lagos. The traffic, the noise, the endless movement, everything felt alive. When we finally stopped in front of the University of Lagos gate, I got down slowly. I stood there for a long time, looking at the entrance. Then I whispered to myself.
You made it.
I picked up my bag, adjusted the carton carrying my little oven, and walked through the gate without looking back. My hostel room was small.
Hi, I'm Cynthia.
2 bunk beds,
Nice
1 wardrobe,
Nice
a window that let in more noise than fresh air. My roommate was Temi, a law student from Ondo. She was loud, funny, talkative, the complete opposite of me. The first thing she noticed wasn't my clothes or my books. It was the small electric oven sitting beside my wardrobe. She stared at it.
Kemisola, yes? Why is there an oven inside our room? Because I bake. You bake? You mean actual cakes? As long as you don't burn this hostel down, I promise.
A few nights later, I was baking. I decided to test the oven first. Around midnight, the smell filled the entire room. Temi climbed down her bunk. She closed her eyes dramatically.
My God, that smells like heaven. It's almost done. Who taught you? Myself. Really? And YouTube. Kemi, my friend's birthday is next Friday. I know where this conversation is going. How much? For this type of cake, 15,000 naira. Done.
Before I could even reply, my phone vibrated. Credit alert. Deposit received. I stared at the notification. Money someone willingly paid because they believed in something I created. It still amazed me every single time. Temi became my biggest advertiser. She posted the birthday cake, tagged me, and within 2 days, 3 more students called. One wanted a birthday cake, another wanted cupcakes. The third wanted a bridal shower cake. I accepted all 3. Soon, students from other faculties started calling me. I wasn't just making cakes anymore. I was building a business. Then, I added makeup. It started almost by accident. One afternoon, my classmate Anita complained that the makeup artist she booked had cancelled 2 hours before a departmental dinner. Temi looked at me.
The makeup artist cancelled 2 hours before dinner. Kemi can do it. What? You've been practicing for years. Please?
I hesitated.
Okay.
Then I agreed.
will do it.
And when I finished, Anita looked into the mirror. She became completely silent. She turned left, turned right, touched her face gently.
Kemi, I've never looked like this before. You've always looked like this. I only helped everyone else see it.
She took pictures immediately, posted them online. By the next morning, 4 girls had messaged her, asking who did her makeup. And within 1 week, I had 3 makeup bookings. Now, I wasn't just a baker. I was also a makeup artist. Every evening after classes, I worked. Sometimes I baked until midnight. And sometimes I had makeup appointment before lectures. Sometimes both happened on the same day. People often ask me how I manage. The truth, I honestly don't know. I simply kept going. Every naira I earned went into a notebook. Cake orders, makeup bookings, transport, ingredients, profit, savings. I recorded everything. Business administration wasn't just something I studied anymore. I was living it.
Now, let's focus on motivation models. We must consider how these structures impact efficiency.
My father never sent money, not once. Whenever I called to ask for help, he became angry.
I don't have money. You think money grows on trees? Stop calling me every time.
Eventually, I stopped calling. I paid for handouts, transportation, food, printing, projects, everything I could afford. Whenever I couldn't, I worked harder. Because I had made myself a promise the day I wrote my plan B. I would never again stand outside a closed door, begging for someone to open it. If a door refused to open, I would build another one. But school fees were different. Those I couldn't always cover. Every semester followed the same pattern. Bola fees were paid before resumption. No reminders, no arguments. My own fees, always late. Always after deadlines were approaching. The first semester, I reminded my father twice. The second reminder changed everything.
Kemisola, if you call me one more time about school fees, I won't pay at all.
After that day, I never reminded him again. If he remembered, fine. And if he didn't, I looked for another solution myself. I met the faculty officer, Mrs. Fashola. I explained everything to her. Not my family history, just a fact.
My business can cover part of my fees. I only need time to pay the balance.
You own this business?
Yes, ma.
You keep proper accounts?
Yes, ma.
I wish some companies kept records this well.
Thank you, ma.
She arranged an installment payment plan for me. That single act kept me in school more than once. Eventually, my father always sent the balance. Late, without explanation, without apology. As though paying his daughter's school fees was a favor. I accepted the money, paid the balance, then returned to building my future. Because I had learned something. Some people will never become the parents you deserve. You can spend your whole life waiting, or you can keep moving. So, I choose to keep moving. University gave me something my childhood never did. Peace. Not perfect peace. just enough to let me breathe. But every long holiday, I had to go back to Ibadan. Back to the same house. Back to the same people. Back to the same silence. Nothing ever changed. Ronke would look up from whatever she was doing.
You're back? Yes, ma.
She would nod and continue watching television. My father would barely lift his eyes from his newspaper.
Kemisola.
Good afternoon, sir.
No, how was school? No, did you eat? No, I have missed you. Just Kemisola. My name sounded less like a daughter's name and more like attendance being taken. And within a day, I became the unpaid housekeeper again. Cooking, cleaning, sweeping, shopping, washing, and ironing. As though university had simply been a short break before resuming my normal duties. I no longer argued. There was no point. My real life was in Lagos. This house was simply somewhere my body visited. My heart had left years ago. One evening during my third year, I came downstairs to get water. As I passed the sitting room, I stopped. My father and Bola were watching a movie together. Bola wasn't even paying attention to the television. She was lying across the sofa with her head resting comfortably on my father's lap. He absent-mindedly stroked her head while laughing at something on the screen. Then she laughed. He laughed louder. Ha 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 ha. For a moment, I simply stood there, hidden behind the wall, watching them. Not because I was jealous of Bola, but because I suddenly realized I had never experienced that. Not once. Not one memory. I had never rested my head on my father's lap. Never been hugged. Never heard him laugh at me. I quietly turned around, walked into the kitchen, picked up the dirty cups in the sink and began washing them. The sound of water covered the sound of the laughter coming from the sitting room. That was easier. Four years passed faster than I expected. Graduation day arrived. The University of Lagos campus was alive. Parents everywhere, mothers adjusting gowns, father taking pictures. Family carrying flowers, everyone celebrating. Weeks before graduation, I had sent messages to my father, to Ronke, to Bola. I invited all three. I even included the time, the venue, everything, but no one replied. The morning of graduation, I checked my phone one last time. Nothing. No congratulations, no we are on our way. Nothing. I smiled to myself. Some disappointment stop hurting after you've lived with them long enough. I adjusted my cap and walked into the hall. Then I heard someone shouting my name. I turned and standing there, holding bags of food, cartons of drinks and wearing the biggest smile I had seen all week, was my mother's younger brother, my uncle Sunday. He opened his hands. I ran into his embrace. He held me tightly. I couldn't speak. I simply nodded. A few minutes later, Temi arrived with three of our classmates. They were all wearing matching t-shirts. Across the front were the words, "Our star girl." Temi was carrying the loudest banner I'd ever seen. Kemi, we love you. I laughed so hard, people turned to look. For the first time, I felt celebrated.
Exactly, that's the point.
The ceremony began. Names were called one after another, degrees awarded, parents applauded. They didn't walk onto the stage again. The hall became quiet. My heart started beating faster.
There is one more award. Our best graduating student this year achieved the highest CGPA recorded in this faculty in 9 years. It is my honor to present this award to Miss Kemisola Adewale.
Everything disappeared. The hall exploded. People stood, clapping, cheering. Temi screamed so loudly, everyone around us started laughing. My uncle was crying openly. I walked onto the stage, accepted the award, turned toward the audience, and froze. In that single moment, I saw every version of myself. The little girl eating cold leftovers, the teenager washing everyone's clothes. Every version of me had survived long enough to stand on this stage. And for the first time, I cried after the ceremony. Professor Ajayi found me. She had taught strategic management, one of the toughest lecturers in the faculty. She held both my hands firmly.
Kemisola, I want you to listen carefully. I have taught thousands of students, but there are very few whose future I can almost see. You are one of them. Whatever you build after today will stand. Do you hear me? It will stand. Not because life will be easy. Don't spend your life trying to earn love from people who already decided not to give it. Spend it becoming the woman God created you to be.
I finally broke. She put me into a hug, the kind only mothers usually give. And for a few seconds, I allowed myself to imagine what it might felt like if my own mother had lived. 2 months later, I returned to Ibadan, not because I wanted permission, but because I wanted closure. Dinner was almost over when I spoke.
I've rented a commercial space. I'm opening a premium cake and beauty studio.
You went to the University of Lagos to sell cake?
It's more than cake, sir. I offer professional makeup services too. I've saved enough to sustain the business for months.
Kemisola, business is risky. Maybe you should look for office work first.
I didn't ask for advice. I came to inform you.
So after all those distinctions, you're becoming a baker.
You are an embarrassment.
Silence filled the dining room. Years earlier, those words would have shattered me. Not anymore. I looked directly into his eyes, really looked at him, and for the first time, I didn't see a father. I saw a man, a broken man, who had allowed grief to become cruelty. A man who had spent 26 years punishing a little girl for surviving the day her mother died. And suddenly, I felt nothing. No anger, no hatred, just peace. I folded my napkin neatly, placed it beside my plate, and stood up.
Good night, sir.
No one stopped me. No one apologized. No one called me back. I walked into my room, opened my laptop, transferred the balance from my shop, then typed the name across the registration form, Grace Studio, because luck had never found me. But Grace had. Grace carried me through rejection. Grace carried me through loneliness. Grace carried me through every closed door. And now, Grace would build a life they all said I could never have. I closed the laptop, picked up my bags, and walked out of that house. Grace Studio opening day. I painted the walls white with a warm cream trim. I built the display shelves from a carpentry market. Every shelf had fingerprints that belonged to me. The display case held 6 showcase cakes, a 4-tier wedding cake with handmade sugar peonies, a children's birthday cake shaped like an elephant. The beauty corner stood opposite the cakes, one white makeup chair, one Nollywood mirror, foundations arranged by shade, and on the front door hung a small wooden sign, Grace Studio, Cakes and Beauty by Kemisola. Then I stood in silence. People imagine that achieving your dream feels loud. It doesn't. Sometimes it feels quiet. Just one woman standing inside an empty shop, listening to the hum of the refrigerator and wondering how she got here. Nobody clapped for me. Nobody celebrated. No family photographs. No father saying he was proud. Just me. And somehow, that was enough. I whispered into the empty studio.
Hi, Mama.
The word surprised me. For a second, I imagined she was standing beside me, not speaking, just smiling, the way she smiled in the only photograph I owned. Then the bell above the door rang. I turned so quickly I almost laughed. A middle-aged woman.
I'm sorry, are you open?
Who did the hand of a little girl.
Mommy, look at the princess cake!
It really is beautiful. Would you like to taste something?
Can I? Auntie, this is the best cake I've ever eaten.
I'm sorry, children don't know how to lie politely. I hope she never learns. I will take this cake, please. I will box that up for you right now. Here is my card. Thank you for coming.
The woman bought a small celebration cake before leaving. But after she walked out, I looked at the receipt for a very long time. Grace Studio first sale. I folded the receipt carefully. The second customer arrived later. A young man.
I actually came for directions, but now that I'm here, my wife's birthday is tomorrow.
He bought the black and gold cake. When I boxed it, he watched every moment. He paid without negotiating. That alone felt like a miracle. Business was slow after lunch. I spent the quiet hours rearranging displays that didn't need rearranging, cleaning surfaces that were already clean, checking my phone every 5 minutes, wondering whether opening a business had been the bravest thing I've ever done or the most foolish thing. Around 4 o'clock, my phone buzzed. Pay me.
Well, I'm still open. That's not what I asked. I've made 2 sales. 2? Yes, Kemi, I told you I am
She
on my
ended the
way.
call before I could even argue. Temi arrived carrying puff-puff from a roadside seller and 2 bottles of malt. She walked into the studio, stopped, turned slowly, looked at everything, then looked at me.
You did all this? I did. Oh no, don't cry. You built this. I'm so proud of you.
Those 5 words landed somewhere no compliment about my cakes ever could. Because for a moment, just one moment, it felt like someone had seen every sleepless night, every rejected opportunity, every YouTube tutorial watched on borrowed data, every cake that collapsed, every mistake, every sacrifice, and every tears. She has seen the road that built it, and somehow that made opening day feel complete. By the end of the first week, I had 9 orders. By the end of the first month, 23. By month 3, I had a waiting list, and I had started turning down orders I couldn't fulfill. Which is the specific wonderful problem of a business that is going faster than you planned for. I bought a better oven, then another. The old one has served me well. A month later, I hired my first assistant. Her name was Biodun. She was 19, quiet, eager to learn, and reminded me so much of myself that it almost hurt.
I've never worked in a bakery before. What have you done? I sell provisions in my auntie's shop. Why do you want this? Because I don't want to sell provisions forever.
I hired her that afternoon. By the end of the day, we were both covered in flour, buttercream, and exhaustion. She looked around the studio after we locked up.
I've never seen so many cakes in one day. Neither had I, until recently.
Grace Studio was alive. Customers no longer came because they were curious. They came because someone they trusted had sent them. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just surviving, I was building. 5 months after the studio opened, my phone rang while I was checking a wedding cake before delivery. I glanced at the screen. Daddy. He almost never called. For a second, I thought something terrible had happened. I answered immediately.
Good afternoon, sir.
Kemisola, you should come home.
Is everything all right?
Everything is fine. You haven't been back in a long time.
I've been busy with work.
I know. Come home this weekend.
My father had never called just because he missed me. Not once. So as I locked the studio that Saturday afternoon, I started the drive back to the house. I had spent years trying to escape. I couldn't stop wondering, what did they want from me now? I arrived on a Saturday afternoon. The gate looked exactly the way I remembered it. The mango tree was still there. The flower pot Mama Bola insisted on arranging every month were lined neatly along the walkway. It was strange how a place could remain the same, while the people inside it shamed. I knocked lightly before letting myself in. Mama Bola was the first to see me. She looked me over from head to toe, in the way she always had, not warmly, more like she was taking
Kemisola.
inventory.
Good afternoon, sir.
You made it.
Yes, sir.
Sit. Sit.
Hug, no welcome home, just that. I walked into the sitting room. My father was reading the newspaper. He lowered it
How is
when
the
he
shop?
heard my footstep.
The studio. It's doing well, sir. I have a waiting list now.
A waiting list.
3 months for wedding cakes.
3 months?
Yes, sir.
I also see you bought a car.
Yes, sir.
For a moment, neither of us spoke. He looked at me. Actually looked at me. It was unsettling. I couldn't read his expression. Pride, surprise, disbelief, perhaps all three. Before either of us could say anything else, footsteps came from upstairs. Bola appeared with her ring light tucked under one arm and her phone in the other hand. She was talking before she could reach the last step.
Oh, hi, Bola. You're here. I am. Mommy said your cake shop is doing well. The studio. I'm doing content creation now. Oh, I'm building my brand. I'll blow soon.
I stayed for dinner that evening. Mama Bola had cooked jollof rice and chicken. She had always been an excellent cook. Some talents exist regardless of the person who possesses them. We ate mostly in silence. The conversation revolved around Bola's content ideas, my father's work, and neighborhood gossip. Nobody asked me about Grace Studio again. Not because they were hungry, because they simply weren't interested. It didn't hurt the way it used to. I had simply learned not to expect anything different from them. The next afternoon, just as I was preparing to leave, the front gate flew open with a loud bang.
Mommy! Mommy! Where are you?
What happened?
Mommy! He proposed! Kunle proposed!
What is all this noise?
Daddy! He proposed!
Wow, congratulations, my daughter.
Congratulations, Bola. I'm getting married, Kemi. I'm happy for you. How long have you and Kunle been together? 3 months. I know this isn't really my place. Marriage is a lifetime. You barely know someone after 3 months. We know each other. You mean you've seen how he handles anger, money, disappointment, family, stress? Those things don't always show up in the beginning.
Kemisola, your sister is happy. Let her be happy.
I am sorry. Maybe she's jealous. You think I'm jealous because you're getting married? You've never even brought a man home. I've been building a business, so that has been my focus. Maybe you just don't like seeing someone else happy with your bad luck. Bad luck? What do you mean?